Hey there, everyone. Happy Sunday. It's kind of a rainy, miserable day here on the Cape, so I thought it would be a good day to come live and show you some stamping. I actually forgot that I have to start this with my face in order for this to be the right way, so please pardon my experience. I did just, my appearance, I did just throw some makeup on so that I look a little bit better, but it's kind of a pajama day, so I'm looking a little crazy, but I've been stamping all day and thought I would share with you. So let me go ahead and switch this to the mode where you can just see my cards instead of my crazy hair, crazy face day. But hi, Carmen. So hang on one second while I switch that. All right, so we're gonna get you set up here so you can see what I'm working on. I gotta figure out, all right, so I need to work up. Actually, I'm going to move this down a little bit. Hang with me for a second. Okay, we'll get the light a little bit closer. Maybe turn on this one here too. Well, that didn't really make a difference, but all right. So I thought what I would do today is I would share with you, since they're already prepped and ready to go, and I was in the mood to stamp, I thought I would share with you the cards we did at Stamp of the Month class. So Stamp of the Month class, we do this every month here locally on the Cape, but I also offer this to go. So each month we focus on one stamp set. And this one, this past week, we just did the Meant to Be bundle, actually. So we worked with this Meant to Be stamp set and the coordinating dies, which are super fun. These just spoke to me because they're like the old school Valentine sort of stuff, and I just love that. It's just so cute. But I love this stamp set because it's not just Valentine's Day. You obviously have the Valentine sentiment, but you have so many other sentiments too that work with a variety of card sending needs. So I love that about this one. So I thought I would show you these because there are some techniques involved. We did some stamping on glossy cardstock. We did a shaker card. So I thought I would show you all of them. I've pre-prepped everything, so everything's die cut, ready to go. So it should go pretty quickly, but I thought I would run through them fast just to show you. But you can get these kits to go at any point. I actually have 5 kits left over from this one. So if you are inspired and want these kits to try at home, if you go to my online store, and I'll post that in a little bit, and purchase the stamp set, I will go ahead, and or the bundle, I will go ahead and mail you the first 5 people. If there's more than 5, I won't have enough for everybody, but I have 5 kits left, so I'll mail you the supplies to do these kits at home. And next month we're focusing on this one. So The Amazing Life. This will be on February 21st at the Chatham Community Center locally, but again, if you order the stamp set by the 21st, and I'll start doing that as of right now, I will go ahead and include you when I send those kits too. All right, so let's go ahead and get started with our stamping. I'm going to move these to the side. Let's start with this one. This one's kind of simple. So I started with a this is soft seafoam, which is quickly becoming one of my favorite colors. So I'm going to go ahead and fold this in half. It's 8.5 by 5.5, which is your standard card base. And I'm going to go ahead and fold that in half. And I do have my little handy dandy bone folder here, so let's go ahead and get a good crease on that. And I started with the little heart, and I'm going to quickly take a little detour. For those of you that haven't seen some of the other videos, these are our new cling mount stamps, so they look very much like our old clear mount stamps, but these are super sticky, so they're like, here, see, they stick really, really well. So I love them so much. I've already got them all set up to stamp with today, but I wanted to show you that because I can't use, or I could, but it would make it harder. I used to, let me see if I can find one here. Yeah. So with these, no, it's not really put together, but I used to keep them in the rubber, just so that I knew if I was missing any, I would put them back in here when I was done, so that I would know that everything is there. But because these are so sticky, I don't store them like that anymore, just because it's hard to get them in and out of there, because you really need to kind of get up and under them. So now I just write in the corner how many stamps are supposed to be there, so I know that if there's one missing. It's just my little tidbit for you. All right, so the first step for this one is we're going to use our soft seafoam ink pad. Like I said, this color and Crumb Cake are my 2 very favorites. and to put them together is just heavenly. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to stamp some background hearts with the soft seafoam, and I'm just doing this randomly. So how's everyone's weather today? It's actually really just rainy and yucky here now on the Cape, but it's supposed to get colder later, so probably some icing up. So I went to the grocery store this morning and got all my goodies, so now it's a pajama day, and I'm going to stay in my pajamas probably for the rest of the day and do some more crafting because it's fun. All right, so then I took just a little strip of the vellum cardstock, which I love adding for the girly frilly cards. It's one of my favorite things. I'm going to do the banner technique, so I'm going to slit right in the middle first, and then I'm going to go from that corner to that center slit, and then I'm going to do this corner to that center slit. Ooh, that's a tough word to say live. So that could go wrong pretty quickly. All right, so we'll do that again. 8 inches of snow, Tiffany. Holy moly. Yikes. But yes, it's the perfect weather for scrapping and stamping. I love it. It's what I'm doing too. I think there's a lot of us doing that today. It's just the perfect recipe. All right, so I went ahead and just cut a little bit of a banner end in each side. And now I'm going to take my adhesive. Oh, and I meant to grab some, oh, I've got plenty. I meant to grab some more before I started the live because it's in the other room. I'm kind of in between events all month this month, so I'm kind of only half unpacking, so I'm missing a lot of things right here at my station. Yeah, sleety slushy mess in Connecticut. I was in Connecticut actually yesterday, but I was in, where was I? Cromwell, Connecticut, and we opted to go home early just because I was afraid of the flash freezing. I'm not afraid of snow. I have a Jeep, but I am afraid of ice, so I opted to bail. So I'm going to show you quickly this piece right here that I used on my card. I cut out of the pattern paper. So there's coordinating paper that goes with this bundle too. And so I just used my die and I cut around it and with the Big Shot. So you can see that's what I did and that's what I got. I used one of the little pink ones. So I just wanted to show you that. I love the coordination between the products. It's super fun. Okay, so for this piece, I'm going to use, isn't this pretty? This is the one of the dies in the set. It's just really frilly and fun, so I'm going to use that. I'm going to go ahead and grab some of my liquid Tombow glue. I probably should have gotten it moving because sometimes it takes it a minute. Let's see how we do. I'm just going to, yep, oh good, it's working. Maybe not. There we go. I'm just going to use a really, really fine amount. I don't want a ton because I don't want it to squish out the sides. So I'm just using just a tiny bit right around the edge of this heart, like that. So you probably can't even see it. I'm not sure. And then I'm going to plop this down on top of it and just kind of push it into that glue, like that. There we go. And then I just plopped this on the card flat down. So we'll do that. I'm going to use my regular adhesive. I probably would want that to dry a little bit more, but I'm going to push myself and just do it now. It will dry. Just going to keep pushing that into it. Okay, so there's that. And then I have a little scrap piece of white here. And I love the little "You Make Me Happy" sentiment, so I'm going to grab that with the lovely lipstick ink pad. I don't know if all of you are familiar. That die is really pretty, Tiffany. It's one of my favorites. There's so many pretty things. That's why I wanted to show you all 4 of these cards, because I use a ton of the dies on them, and they're really fun. These new ink pads open like a makeup compact, in case you haven't seen them. So the old ones you used to have to kind of push and pull for that. So these are a little bit simpler. And then I'm going to go ahead, stamp that here. So "You make me happy," which you all make me happy. Thanks for joining me today. And then I'm going to grab my 1-inch punch. And I'm going to go ahead and pop that out. It fits perfectly in that punch. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and grab some dimensionals. You know, I'll know I don't like things to sag, so I'm going to grab 2. No sagginess. And then I'm going to pop this onto my card, overlapping that little heart. Like that. And when I do the Stamp of the Month class, I always kind of pick a color scheme. So you can see with this one, it was the crumb cake, white, soft seafoam, and a little bit of the lovely lipstick. I probably would have put more in, except for I didn't have enough of that cardstock to cut for class. So I ended up not using as much of that, but it really kind of helps me focus the cards. And I love being able to kind of reduce my options, because sometimes when you have too many options, life gets too complicated, right? So it's a good little trick to use when you're working on projects. All right, I'm gonna, hi guys. So I'm gonna go ahead and, oh, you were in Falmouth, Susan. Yes, yeah. So it's getting cold fast, so I'm gonna stay put, I think, now. I went to the grocery store this morning in the rain and got myself some you know, frozen pizzas and really quality food, so I can enjoy my little crafty day. So right now I'm just making myself a little bow because I wanted a little texture, and I'm pulling in that crumb cake to go with my little theme. I'm gonna make it a little bit smaller, I think, and that should fit good. I'm gonna grab mini glue dot. And great trick for mini glue dots, if you don't already know it, is to grab whatever you want to stick down and push it into the center of the glue dot and then just pick it up. That way it doesn't get stuck to your finger. And then we'll stick that down. I'm going to trim those little bits a little bit with my ribbon scissors. It's good to have a set of scissors that are just for cutting ribbon and whatnot, just because otherwise, like, these are my sticky scissors. They don't cut ribbon very well because I've used them to cut things that had adhesive on them, so now they don't work as well. Oh, and you know what I forgot to do? I'm a dummy. I was talking. See, this is why I can't stamp and talk. But in the original, I actually inked the edges with the crumb cake. Just to kind of add a little bit of that crumb cake color back in. And the last step for that is to add some bling. So, whoops, sorry. I hope that didn't move the camera. I just banged it. Let's grab this. And, okay, I'm going to go ahead and add those. Perfect. Hi, Gail. So, there you go. Card number 1. And then I do have the insert, which I cut these at 4 by 5 1/4. You could actually, let's go ahead and do that. Let's grab the, let's decorate the inside, because I like to do that. I'm going to go ahead and add a couple little hearts in the corner here. And because I also love to have no naked envelopes, let's go ahead and add a couple over here too. And maybe let's flap it down and do this too. I love to let them know it's something fun and not bills, right? All right, so there's that. Now we're going to go ahead and take this and attach it inside. So this is 4 by 5 1/4, so that will give you a nice little mat inside. You can still see the soft seafoam around the edges. Boom! All done with that one. Easy peasy. Okay, so next up, what shall we do next? We'll do this one. We'll save the 2 technique ones for later. All right, so this one is really fun too. I used the dies again to do a lot of this. So you'll see a lot of those pieces. First here is this little heart. So with this set of dies, you get this one, which if you turn it over, see how it's got the stitching? Then you plop that there. I don't really do sentiments inside, Susan, because sometimes I want to write a little note. So I wait until I'm ready to send it before I put in a sentiment inside. All right, so let's go ahead. I'm glad you guys like it. So let's go ahead and start to do the background on this. I'm going to use my chamois. Have you guys seen the chamois? This guy's only $8. It's like a squishy little cushion, and you just stamp your, mine's pretty used and messy, but it doesn't matter. I'm just stamping it out, and then if you look, it's all nice and clean. So this is a great portable little option, very inexpensive. You don't have to worry about spray or anything. It just uses water. So it's a really handy little tool. I keep it in the case because it keeps it moist. This is one of the empty clear mount cases. You could just put it in a, whatchamacallit, a plastic bag too. And if it does start to get a little bit hard, I usually just keep my Stampin' Mister with some water, and you can just spritz it as it starts to harden up a little bit, and then you're good to go for next time. So that's a good little tip. So now that's all clean. We're going to use the You Make Me Happy, which we used on the last card. I just really love that sentiment. I'm going to actually clean this one too, because I think, yep, we used pink, so I need to switch over. The chamois is awesome. I love it too. Hi, Reba. All right, so we're going to stamp that out so I can switch to crumb cake instead of the lovely lipstick. Let's see if I can find, oh, here it is. I can find this. So now I'm going to go ahead and just stamp this. Whoops. I'm going to stamp this. It doesn't get moldy. You know, you really want to wring it out so it's not super wet. It's just damp. So I have not had any problem with it getting moldy. In the summertime, you might want to keep an eye on it, but I haven't had any issues, and I've had it since last June. It does tend to, after a while, get a little bit hard. Like I had to re-moisten it a little bit ago because it hadn't been used in a while, and it had hardened out. All right, just doing a little bit of a random pattern with those. And I'm going to use my Tombow liquid glue. So I love this one too. So this die, when it cuts it out, this is a different color obviously, it cuts out the center piece like that, right? And then when you pull it off, this little doily piece is usually stuck inside, but it's got the little ejection holes here. So you just pop your paper piercer in there or your little die brush, and it will pop this guy out. So you have two elements with one roll of the Big Shot, which is really cool. I'm not going to use that pink heart right now. I have a stash of them on my desk at the moment that I'll play and use probably on some other projects. But I'm going to go ahead and attach this one down with my Tombow liquid adhesive. And again, I'm just doing a really fine row of this along the edge. You don't want it really goopy because then it will squish out the sides. That's never a good look. It does dry clear for the most part, but it just makes it really messy when you're trying to put it all together. So less is more in this case. Oops, it's starting to come out faster now. Add some over here. Alright, so there we go. Now I'm going to carefully pick this up, and I'm going to put this down. Do you guys remember that commercial? I pick things up, I put them down? That's what I'm going to do right now. Pick this up, and I put this down. Alright, we're going to go ahead, just tap that into place, and I'm going to let that sit and dry. Actually, we have, whoops, I got some on my table. We have one more to do too. I'm going to do the same thing with this one, this little guy. So this is just a smaller one, does the same thing. So it cuts out the center heart, and then it also has that little doily piece that you can use on a separate project. So I have a whole stash of little hearts on my desk right now from cutting for this class. But I just couldn't help it. There's so many fun little die elements to use. So I'm going to add this one to my card too, carefully. Trying not to get too much glue anywhere. And just tap that down here too. And I'll let those dry while I do the sentiment. So on this one, we're going to use Lovely Lipstick again. And the Meant to Be stamp. And I'm going to just do light tap, tap, tap. Remember, these are foam-based ink pads, so if you push too hard, you'll get ink all over your block, and then it is not pretty. So we'll stamp our Meant to Be, and it's a little crooked, but it doesn't matter because I'm going to punch it out. So we're going to use the 1.5 inch punch. Whoop, well that's interesting. We're going to use the 1.5 inch punch, to punch that one out. And that one, again, also just fits. This time we'll actually do the inking on the edge like I was supposed to on the last one. Put that back in here. We'll grab that sponge again and the crumb cake ink. So this is the older style, so you push it forward and then it flips and then locks into place. So the new ones, like I said, open like a makeup compact, so they're a little bit easier to do. They are super tough to open at first until they get loose, and then they get a little bit better. But no flying off anymore. Sometimes these, when you open them, they go flying off at somebody, and that's never fun. So we're going to go ahead and ink this up. And put that back. And then this will go with this. But before I do that, I'm going to add a little bit of lovely lipstick in there. So I grabbed this ribbon, which is also part of the Meant to Be bundle, or suite rather. So there's a whole suite of products that work with this line. So it makes it really easy to do some crafting if you have all the elements. This actually comes in a duo. It has a Calypso coral ribbon as well, a thinner one. And so you get the thin one and the thick one at the same time. I'm going to just put a little bit of adhesive here in the middle. And we'll put that down. And then we're going to use some dimensionals. Where did I put them? Does anybody else like make a great big giant mess in like 2 minutes and can't find what they're looking for 20 seconds later? Hopefully I'm not the only one. All right. I found them. I don't think they're the ones I was using a minute ago, but I found some. I'll take the backings off of those. I always like to do my dimensionals in a triangle on the back of a circle just so that it stays, so it doesn't go wobbly on you. And I'm going to make sure my words are straight. There we go. And then this I'm going to attach to the card with the dimensionals as well. So I'll flip that over. It's going to be a double. I'm glad I'm not the only one, Billie Jean. This is going to be a double lift. So if you were mailing this one, you may have to pay a little bit of extra postage. I usually get some of the, well, they used to be butterflies, the 71-cent stamps, but those probably changed now that the pricing went up. But I usually have some of those on hand, just for those bulkier, whoops, I think that's crooked. Just for those bulkier cards. I miss my grid paper. I can't find that either. Seriously, I'm like a mess right now. I think I left it at a class, actually. Oh, and then we have the inside for this one. So let's do, I'm just going to put a little You Make Me Happy inside. In the corner here. Whoop. I keep doing that. I scraped the top of my ink pad the other day, yesterday, doing that. I get too excited. Oh, that's a little crooked. Let's try that again. And do that. Perfect. Okay. Do that. Thanks, Billie Jean. Glad you like it. Alright, so I'm going to put that inside here. I got to start remembering to put the insides in when I make the card, because I always have all these cards laying around, and then my friend Brenda, I think she's still watching, always has to prep them and get them ready for sale and for mailing for me, because I don't take the 2 seconds it takes to do it. Yeah, so that would be good if I started doing that. Alright, so let's do a little technique with this one. We're going to use glossy cardstock, so I don't know if you can see that. This is actually, oh, there you go. You can see the shine on that. So I used Whisper White thick cardstock. This one is cut 4 1/4 by 11. So you would take the 11-inch, the 8.5 by 11 sheet and cut it in the middle at 4 1/4 on the short side, and you get 2 card bases. With the thick cardstock like this one, you do usually want to score it first so that it folds a little bit better. I used the lovely lace embossing folder. Isn't this pretty? I just used a little piece of it for this card. Let's go ahead and attach that. That just goes down in the middle here. I'm going to do this side because I want it embossed. So you can see this side is embossed, that side is debossed. It just looks easy, Carmen, because it's all prepped and ready to go. See? It is easy, though. Just playing with my toys. Alright, so... And like I said, when you pick colors, like a color scheme ahead of time and a suite to work with, it makes it so much easier, I think. Alright, so now I'll stamp this while I have this out too, just for you in the lovely lipstick. This is the Everyday Label Punch, which is really fun too. And let's make sure it's straight. And go straight down, straight up, and you get your Just For You. I'm going to put this away so we have no happy accidents or unhappy accidents, whatever the case may be. All right, and now I'm going to clear the decks a little bit because I'm going to use this. So I made this bigger than I need it to be because, oh, I should have cut one out in advance, but I needed to show you, so I'll have to grab my Big Shot. I made this a little bit bigger because you kind of need something to hang on to. Oh, and I want to use the lighter color first. So I'm going to use Calypso Coral, which is also in this suite. So I'm going to take a little bit of Calypso Coral, which is lighter, and I'm going to just drag it right along the cardstock. The lighter you go, the less color you'll get. I do want more of the coral than the, well, not that I want more than the red, but the red will take up more space. It's going to actually fill in really nicely. So I'm going to do a little more coral here. It is a little tricky sometimes. It wants to get stuck to the glossy paper. So you just do a light touch when you do that. Oop, I just stuck my hand right in the pink ink pad. This is why you don't leave them open on your desk. You got it, Carmen. I'll bring it next week. All right, so now I'm just going to go ahead and do the red on top. Oop, I just did my nail too. And you can do, whoop, see it got stuck there. This is never going to be a science, so you're going to get different looks every time you do it. Like my first one was very streaky looking, see? This one's more plaid looking, which is fine. And I'm going to go ahead and stop there because I do want some of that coral to show. Then I'm going to take my Big Shot, and I'll put this on the Big Shot. I think I'm going to kind of stick to the side here. I like the variation of light and dark. It is a cool technique. I know, Tiffany, you love techniques, right? Oh, this is on the wrong side. Let me turn this around so I can roll it. And then the glossy paper actually it has a ton of fun techniques. We just reintroduced it into the catalog this year, and I need to go back and do some more technique videos with glossy cardstock because it's super fun to do. I love crayon resist with it. I love emboss resist with it. So lots of fun techniques. All right, so let me move the Big Shot out of the way. You can see my heart is cut out. Cut my heart out. All right, so you can see the cool little pattern you get. And then, like I said before, this one cuts out the little doily part too. So if I poke these out through the little ejection holes here, that's what their official name is in case you were wondering, then you can carefully peel this. Yes. See, I'm not usually a big fan of messy techniques, but this one is worth it. So, and then you can see I have the little outline too. So now I can use both pieces, but I'm just going to use this one on the card. And all I did was I attached the heart in the middle. So, do this. I'm putting a little extra adhesive on it because it's going over that textured cardstock, so sometimes it will fall off if you don't have enough adhesive on there. So make sure that's good and stuck, and then I'm going to take my Tombow liquid glue, and I'm just going to put a little bit of that around this one. This Tombow liquid glue is really good. You could also use our fine tip glue pen. Both of them hold really, really well. So I'm just going to do that. Since I'm using this one so much, the fine tip glue pen, you really need to make sure you put it back together, like with the cover on each time. And otherwise it sometimes gets clogged, and since I'm using this so much, I figured it would be easier to use this Tombow this time around so that I don't clog my little glue pen. And I'm just going to attach that right around the heart. Just tap that into place. Okay, And then I just took the Just For You. And this time I did not ink the edges just because this was so bright white. Hi, Lori. I didn't want to mute this one. I wanted to keep it nice and bright and bold. So I'm going to go ahead, grab a couple more dimensionals, stick those on. Okay. And we'll add that here. And that's it. Done with that one. Easy peasy. Okay. And then the final card is a shaker card. I haven't done a shaker card video in a long time, so I thought it would be fun to show this one. And I love that with these dies, it just screamed shaker card, and I'll show you why in a second. So first thing we want to do is we want to stamp a little background on here. You'll see I like to do that a lot, as you've noticed. I've done it on 3 out of 4 cards here. I'm going to grab my crumb cake cardstock. So again, I'm using crumb cake ink on crumb cake cardstock. Whoops, that one was a little light, but that's okay. Because I love the tone-on-tone look. So we'll just do just some random little hearts here and there. Remember, it's really important that when you're stamping, you go straight down and straight up, especially with these little itty-bitty stamps, because you can see, even by lightly touching, I grabbed ink onto the side of that stamp. So if I was to rock it all, you're going to catch that edge, and then it's not usually the look you're going for. Maybe it is, but not for me. Okay, so I just did that. Now, shaker cards, you generally need... Oh, and I should have cut this in advance, and I didn't, but that's okay. I'll do it on screen. Generally, with shaker cards, you want window sheets or acetate to go behind here, and I discovered when I was planning this class that I didn't have any in stock. So I was like, crud, this card really needs to be a shaker card, because I loved the idea because of the little die that we have, and I'll show you that in a second. So I was like, what can I use instead for my shaker card? So I grabbed our cello bags. So if you don't have acetate, there's plenty of other things you can use around the house. Plastic from wrapping, you could use that. You could use cello bags. You could use the window sheet or acetate if you have them. Projector films, if you still have those by any chance. You probably won't need them anymore, I'm just thinking. So you could do that too. Oh, look, this one's already half cut. So what I did is I just trimmed off the edge and the bottom of a cello bag. So you can see that was where the fold was. And then I used this half for one of the other ones, and now I'm going to cut this side, and I think I cut them 3 by 4, so I'm going to go ahead and do that here, and just cut that. So that was 3, now I'm doing 4. I know you can't really see this because it's so clear, but there you go. So now I have a 3 by 4 little window sheet, or cello bag piece, and that's going to get taped inside to create our little window. So I'm just going to put a little bit of tape right around the edge of this heart. It doesn't have to be all the way around. You're just going to put it pretty close to the edge because I don't have a lot of excess. And then I'm going to tape this down on top of that. Okay. There you go. And then we're going to grab the foam adhesive strips. So I usually have these in stock when I'm at a crop. So if you ever need any of these, you can always pick them up there, or you can always add them to an order if you're putting in an order at any point. But you're going to grab one of these little strips. These are perfect for shaker cards. So you're going to just go ahead. You want to make sure that you don't go too close to the edge, that when you lay it down you can see the sticky part on the inside. So I go just inside or outside that window that we made. And you're just going to literally, you don't have to cut them and go all the way around. You just literally turn it around here as you go, and then just push it into place. So this one is not going to be quite long enough to make it all the way around the heart, so we will need another little piece, but that's okay. So just go all the way around. And there we go. And then I'm just going to grab another little piece from here. And I'm going to get them connected as best as I can because you don't really want any holes between the foam because then oops, and you want to make sure it's on the bottom and not the side, because the side doesn't stick as well. I was just trying to stick down the side. That was not working. But if you have any holes whatsoever, your little shaker elements will fall out. So you want to make sure you fully connect those edges. And I've got a lot of adhesive on my table, so I'm going to lift this up. I'm just going to cut that piece off and pull this off. Save that for later. Make sure those are connected really well. So you can see this part is kind of open, but it doesn't matter because I blocked this part, the part where the little hearts that we're going to be floating around. Okay, so there you go. Have that. Right, now we're going to go ahead and stick our shaker element in. So let me just show you first. So this is what we're using on the front of the card. So this is going to go down here on our front. But if you look, we've got all these little hearts. So what would those little hearts be good for? They'd be good for a shaker card. So let me grab my little stash of hearts here on the side. And I love it because they're all different sizes. Whoops. So you can see I have all sorts of little size hearts, and I'm just going to go ahead and stick them inside here. You could, I don't know where my embossing buddy is, but you could kind of rub your embossing buddy around here just so that the static cling, but I didn't do that on my last card and it works fine. I do sometimes like to run my finger along the inside of this just to kind of take off the sticky that's on the side of the foam strips so that the hearts don't stick to that. Alright, so then we're just going to pull the little backing off. So these work just like dimensionals. They've got the little backing, so you put them down and then peel the backing off. And I'm going to do that. And then I used a pattern piece of paper in the soft seafoam. This is actually from the Twinkle paper, so it's actually not from the same suite. I used up most of my pattern paper from this suite, so whoops, oh boy. So I had to improvise. This is not as bad as when you have glitter or something in here and you accidentally hit it. At least these I can pull off and put them back where they need to go. So just get those in the middle before you attach them down. No rogue little hearts. Okay. Oh, stop. I keep doing that. Like a bull in a china shop. You want to make sure you have the side that you want to show face down. So, because that's going to show through the window. So I don't want the gray to show. I want the green to show. So I'm going to stick that down on top of this. And make sure that's good and attached. And then I usually like to cover this side just because it looks kind of messy when you've got that there. So I do this. So what I do so it's all evened out, I'm going to go ahead and put some tape on this side. And then I'm going to grab a couple dimensionals and I'm going to stick them pretty close to this window. Whoops, I don't want to be on top of the window. There we go. And I'm just going to put them here so that when I put that other one on top, it's going to even it out so that it's all the same height. And we'll put one right there. Okay, so now I'm going to peel this off. And we'll put the white piece on top of it. And then I also do one for the other side too. So these are a little bit thicker, so you would definitely need some extra postage on this one. But these people that get this card are going to be card worthy because you're sending them a shaker card, so they'll be worth the extra postage, right? That's how I think of it. We all have those lists, right? The people that are worthy or not worthy of the cards we make. Sounds so mean. Alright, so now we have, that's the inside. So now we just need to decorate the front. But you can see the little hearts shake around inside there. Fun, right? This is very addictive. And it was so fun when I did this in class the other day. One of the girls just sat there and did this for like 20 minutes and just giggled. It was actually Brenda. I'm going to tell her on her. But she was so funny. I wanted to do one of those boomerang videos with her because she was just having so much fun. But you can see like sometimes the hearts get stuck to those edges. If you bang them enough, they come out. But that's why I kind of run my finger around to reduce some of that stickiness. All right, so now we're going to put this down. So again, I'm going to use my liquid adhesive. I'm not going to do the entire thing. I'm just going to kind of stick to the edges because the middle will be held down with all the other elements we're putting on. So I'm just going to add a little bit of adhesive here. Come on. Come out, come out. I don't want to squeeze too hard because then you get like a big giant blob, and that's not what we want. So we're going to just go ahead and use a little bit. It's coming out very slowly, but it is there, believe it or not. Like I said, I'm not going to do the whole entire heart. I'm just doing a little bit on each side to kind of hold them in place. It's pretty strong glue, so just little bits here and there should work fine. Okay, so now we'll stick this. I've got a big gluey spot right there, so I'm going to kind of stay off to the side here. I'm going to just attach this down. Again, I'm just tapping that into place, getting those to stick down. Oh, sticky over here too. Okay, so there's that. And then I used one of these little lace doily things from before too. It was one that I had cut from something else and just had hanging on the desk. So I added it to this card too. So again, I'm just going to add a little bit of glue. And so these are these Stamp of the Month card kits that I do, they're a little more fussy than my regular card classes because they do feature techniques, and I do use lots of bits and elements and die cuts. So it is a little bit stepped up, so to say, but they're all pretty simple still. They're just a little more time consuming on some occasions. All right, so there's that little piece. I pre-stamped that. Oh, look, I did pre-stamp that, but look at how bad that is. I pre-stamped it so I didn't have to do it on live air here, but that's really going to bother me, so we need to fix that. Let me find a piece of soft seafoam. I didn't even look at it after I cut it. So we will take a little piece here and fix that because that's just not acceptable. Let me just cut off a piece. And we will stamp that again. I used my magnetic plate too, but sometimes with those little itty bitty dies, they want to just jump around despite what we do to prevent that. So I just used soft seafoam ink on soft seafoam cardstock. So I'll print that. And I think this die is one of my favorites. I love the little frilly edges. Where did he go? Here he is. So it's just a little guy. And like I said, the magnetic platform tends to jump a lot with these little ones because if you look at it, there's actually little, I don't know if you'll be able to see it in the video, there's little tiny circle magnets that make this magnetic. So if you just get it in the right position, it shoots it in between. You know how like when you're playing with magnets and they'll like shoot off of each other? That's what happens. So if it happens to you, we'll see if, no, see right now it's being good. If it moves on its own, just kind of move it to a different spot and usually it will behave. So let's try this again and see how I do. All right. I can't believe I didn't even look at it after I cut it. I just threw it in the envelope. All right. So, yay, it looks like it did good. So see how cute it is? You got the stitching and the cute little scallop edge. So that's better. Let's put this guy over here. All right, so that's one element. Then I'm going to do the I Love Our Life Together. I think that's really cute too. So let's grab the lovely lipstick again. So I literally just have lovely lipstick, crumb cake, soft seafoam, and then I did have the Calypso Coral just for that one technique. And then all I have is the same color cardstock and these two, the dies and the stamp set, and that's all I had to work with. And it really helps to sometimes limit what your options are. There you go. I love our life together. It's a little crooked. Let me try that again. I'm going to stand up. Sometimes it's easier for me to see. All right. Better. Okay, so I'm going to do that. Let's move this out of the way. And I'm going to do the banner end again. So just snip in the corner here, or in the center rather, then corner to center, and then corner to center. So there you have that. And I'm going to add a little bit of, whoops, that's the really sticky spot. I'm going to add a little bit of tape on the side here, like that. And then I'm going to attach my heart to that. I love our life together. Stick that down. And I'm going to use dimensionals for the back of this. So you'll see that a lot of times on my projects, the back sides are stamped too, because guess what? I don't always do it on the first shot either. So there we go. And now I'm going to just stick this right in the middle here, across my little heart, and we have our little shaker card. Very easy, right? It was not hard. Oh, now they're all stuck down there. There we go. See? It's really fun to play with. So this is a very card-worthy person for this one. It's right here, actually, Robin. Here is the finished shaker card. I was still working on it. So there you go. This one's the finished. So you can see there's the little shaker bits in there. So that was the shaker card. And then we have, this was the other one. This was the glossy cardstock. It's really fun, right? I love doing shaker cards. I should do them more often because they're really not as hard. They're very intimidating when you first do them, but they're really not intimidating at all. This was the other one we did. So if you missed any of these, you can go back and watch the full live to see how we did all of them. But I just thought I'd show you the Stamp of the Month cards. Like I said, I do this every month, and they always feature one stamp set. And this month was the Meant to Be stamp set. I do have 5 of these kits, so if you want one, you could order the bundle or the stamp set, and I will automatically send you those this time around because I have a few left. I have 5 left. And then next month, on February 21st, we'll be using this one. So if you were to order the Amazing Life stamp set, you'll automatically get those if you order. I don't have a host code for you. I'll just watch the orders, and if I see either of these stamp sets on, I will go ahead and send them out to you. So yeah, so Lori, if you want the kits, all you need to do is order either of the stamp sets, the Meant to Be or the Amazing Life. You may want the bundle on this one because I do use a lot of the pieces, but all those pieces will be pre-cut for you. They're already in the kit, but if you wanted to do them or recreate them, you'd want the dies for yourself. But if you order either of these in my online store, jenpitta.stampinup.net, then I will automatically send you the kits. I only have 5 of these left, and I won't be cutting more, so you'll want to do that sooner rather than later. I didn't really promote it ahead of time. This one I haven't cut for, and I haven't designed them yet, but this will be the class on February 21st. So next month's Stamp of the Month class will be featuring this one. We'll be doing birthday cards. So that is the way to get the kits. All right, thanks so much for watching. I hope you have a great Sunday and you get some crafty time for yourself. It's a perfect day for that. And I am going back to well, I might have lunch because I should probably eat something. And then I'll go back to crafting because I'm having a lot of fun today. All right, have a great day. We'll see you again. Bye.